farmer's market at some point in your lives. And whenever I end up alone, I'm usually talking to a farmer. Last Saturday, I had a really good conversation with a farmer, but I wasn't at a farmer's market. I was at the TC Dam headquarters, hanging out with my candidate, Gary McDowell. Talking to a farmer, you learn a lot of things. Farmers are problem solvers. You can't buy success in your farming. You must act and you must face the consequences. Farmers are there through all seasons. They cannot quit when the wind is strong or hide when the sun is hot. Farmers are there every day, observing, planning, inventing, and collaborating with their neighbors. Gary McDowell grew up in Woodard, Michigan, a small rural community similar to Leland. He lived on a hay farm similar to those we see around here. In his hometown, Gary worked hard as a volunteer firefighter and an EMT. He also led the fight to establish 911 service for Chippewa County. But he didn't do it by himself. Like any successful local leader, Gary is known to be bipartisan, working with both parties' support to achieve big goals for his community and for Michigan. Leland County needs a voice in Washington that understands how to support rural economies. Mr. McDowell understands Leland because he grew up in a place similar. Gary will fight to restore federal funding for dredging and shallow draft harbors like ours here in Leland, so that our little but busy town of Leland can continue to thrive, bringing in sightseers, boaters, fishermen, and supporting our own local economy of fishing. As students, if you hope to land a summer job in Leland, you will definitely vote for Gary McDowell. Our Great Lakes are threatened in other ways too. Invasive species like Asian carp are stressing our already exhausted ecosystem and threatening the jobs of a $7 billion industry. He has already led a boycott against Chicago for not helping wholeheartedly against the fight of Asian carp. Mr. McDowell is ready to propose higher penalties for ships dumping their water tanks within our lakes, as well as convincing Chicago and other areas nearby to strengthen defenses against the carp. Gary McDowell will also take time to protect our Great Lakes from oil drilling and will oppose any attempt to sell Great Lakes water. If you've ever visited the UP, one thing you always remember is the lack of cell phone service. Even here at Leland School, you'll often find us students at the windows holding our phones to the panes as if some magical cell phone service genie is ready to send our messages. Living in the UP, Gary has lived with communication issues his entire life. When he first served as a volunteer firefighter, he couldn't even leave his house for his entire shift just in case his phone rang, because pagers hadn't been invented yet. Yet, Mr. Gary McDowell appreciates that times are changing. He understands how much the lack of cell phone service stunts the growth of our small-town economy and poses a serious public safety issue. Mr. McDowell will work to improve the cell phone service as well as the internet coverage of Michigan. This will promote home businesses and attract small businesses to the more northern part of our state. A win-win for everyone. Economic development without losing the view. Unlike most politicians, Gary McDowell also understands the importance of moving forward. He knows peace and prosperity depend on making our country energy self-sufficient. He will invest in renewable energy that will protect our environment and free us from foreign oil. Gary McDowell is not just another politician. He's a hard-working, honest farmer